Hi and welcome. This week I'm going to be doing a puncture repair on the rear tyre of a motorcycle. This is my son's bike and he had a puncture on the way home from work last night and I need to repair it so he can get off to work today. We'll have the tyre professionally repaired sometime next week when we get a chance, but since he needs to use the bike shortly, I thought I'd do a repair here and show you how it's done. Now these repairs are really only designed as a temporary measure to get you home. They're not really designed as permanent, and it certainly states that on the packet. So I'd certainly advise that if you do have to repair a tyre in the field like this, that you really should get the tyre looked at the soonest opportunity. Now I've got a couple of kits here that I can show you. I've got a motorcycle kit and a standard car kit of the kind that you'd probably get at any auto shop. So I'll bring the camera in closer, we'll have a look at these two kits, and then we'll have a go at repairing this tyre. Well, here are the two kits. This is a typical sort of kit sold at any auto parts store. It's actually made in China like most of this stuff. So it comes with 5 pieces of repair string, one reaming tool, an applicator tool and some rubber cement. And there's instructions on the back for you to follow. So that's pretty straightforward. It's not exactly ideal to carry on the motorcycle. It actually doesn't include anything to remove any objects in the tyre. So I'd recommend a kit like this that actually includes a few more options, and we'll take a look at this one. So this is a motorcycle type kit. This is a X-Tech emergency tyre repair kit. And I carry this particularly when I'm touring, and it comes with everything you need. It's got the tools, so there's the reamer, glue, strings, and underneath that is the applicator tool. We've got a pair of pliers for removing foreign objects from the tyre. And we've also got some CO2 inflators. So there's a hose, and this end actually has a piercing tip in it, which pierces the end of that. So you want to screw that end onto the tyre valve, and once that's in there, you then screw the CO2 on. Now, the CO2 tube here will actually get very cold when it releases the CO2. So you either want to hold that in your motorcycle gloves, or this kit actually does come with a little cover for that CO2 cartridge, but I seem to have misplaced that, so it's not actually in this kit. So that's how you can inflate your tyre on the road, and it will certainly take more than one cartridge. I don't have a tyre gauge in here, and putting a tyre gauge in this kit would probably also be a good option. Now, apart from these strings, there are a few other methods of repairing tyres, and there's one that I've used in the past, which, though probably not as effective as this, is a lot easier to use on the road. And that's these Cargol turn and go repairers. Now, these really are a temporary repair, and they do have a tendency to leak a bit of air, so after a week you will find that your tyre pressure will go down slightly. But effectively what it is a plastic screw. And you actually screw that into the tyre and then snap it off at this point here, and then it wears flush with the end of the tyre. Really easy to apply, and from that point of view it's a great get out of jail quick sort of solution to a puncture that's causing you grief, particularly if you don't have that far to go. You know, they're quite a good option, but they're much more expensive than these repair strings. So they're really the two options that you've got on the road. There are other sorts of plugs and things that you can use, and the ones that the pro shops use, the plug actually goes through from the inside and is also glued on the inside as well. So that's a more permanent form of repair. So that's the actual motorcycle kit, and it's a great little kit, and I certainly recommend this. I think in Australia these are around the $40 mark. Whereas these sorts of kits from auto parts stores in Australia are under $20 Australian, probably even less in the US. Well, they're the two kits that I've got to show you. We'll move on and attempt to repair on that rear tyre. Let's see if we can find the puncture on this tyre. Well, that looks like it there. It's just a little sliver of metal. Now, usually you get a nail or a screw. This is fairly unusual. Let's see if it'll come out. There it is. Looks like a bit of a blade or something, doesn't it? So now we take our reamer and we ream out this hole. Must admit, it's a pretty fine one. Doesn't want to go in, does it? I also like to put a bit of rubber cement on the reamer, just so that we get plenty of rubber cement in the hole. So it's properly roughened up. Now we get our string and feed it into the insertion tool. It actually can be a bit hard. Often use a pair of pliers to actually pull it through. So we want it about halfway like that, so it folds back when we insert it. Now we get some rubber cement. We put plenty of rubber cement around the insertion point. Insert it about halfway, twist, and then pull it out rapidly. Then you can use a blade, or in this case I'm just using a pair of cutters. Just cut it off flush with the tyre. Now we just have to reinflate the tyre to the correct PSI. Well, I think that's about it for this particular video. I hope you got something out of that demonstration on how to repair a puncture in a motorcycle tyre. But if you have any doubts about your ability to perform this task, get it done by a professional. And it's certainly advisable to get the tyre repaired professionally when you get a chance. I'll catch you next time.